is about this, sir. I'm telling you, brother, it's a frightful sight. See what goes on Halloween night.
Oh, there's a Spirit Halloween store in case we didn't get everything we need the first time. Well, you never know. Hello. Founded around 1685, the Old Dutch Church and its churchyard are the ones featured in Washington Irving's short story, The Legend of Sleepy Hollow, first published in 1820. Frederick Phillips I, Lord of Phillips Manor, chose to establish his country seat where the Pocantico River met the Hudson. He built this small church at the southern end of an established burying ground in what was then called North Tarrytown, which already contained 50 graves by 1683. Located on the old Albany Post Road, now Route 9, it is the second oldest church in New York State. The burying ground surrounding it features the headstones of the town's earliest Dutch residents, many whose names appear as characters in Irving's story. The burying ground sits adjacent to Sleepy Hollow Cemetery, separate but no less incredible. Author Washington Irving made the town of Sleepy Hollow famous. While he grew up in New York City and spent many years abroad in Spain, he eventually retired to his Tarrytown estate, which he called Sunnyside, in the 1830s. His family plot in the Sleepy Hollow Cemetery is heavily cared for and heavily visited every year by thousands of tourists. Oh, that's cool. That is just cool.
Yeah.
It's pretty neat.
Eating the nutrients from his body that the tree had sucked out.
Nothing like good cadaver nutrients. Crazy. They should be right around here.
I think you would notice unless he had a modest stone.
The grave of Andrew Carnegie, American philanthropist and industrialist, is actually very stately and simple. It's a tomb. There's the name.
Yep.
In contrast, the grave of William Rockefeller is rather palatial, very Rockefeller-esque. Just a short walk from these famous graves is Sleepy Hollow's other legend, the Bronze Lady. Said to harm anyone who dares to touch her, local stories have grown over the years to even include descriptions of her shedding tears. That's her.
She looks quite sad.
Don't touch it. There are two bridges that span the Pocantico River, which act as the bridges for those seeking to experience the legend of Sleepy Hollow. There is one wood plank bridge, however, located deep in the ravine of the cemetery, which is said to be the haunted one. While Irving's story was just a story, the specters and shadows continue to be investigated and reported from this wooden replica bridge. Shall we cross the bridge together? Let's cross it. There is a modern cement bridge at the main intersection of town, which is the memorial bridge to Washington Irving, which, without him, what would we be doing here? There have been at least 5 bridges constructed since Washington Irving wrote The Legend of Sleepy Hollow, and the road has been moved several times. The original is just no longer there. Irving's literature put Sleepy Hollow on the map, but what most don't know is that he drew inspiration from an already spooky spot. Right now I am standing in Patriot Park in Sleepy Hollow. This is the place where an original ghost story was created, birthed, about a headless Hessian soldier who was captured by the Americans during the Revolution, and his headless spirit is said to wander this park. It's the actual ghost story that inspired Washington Irving's The Legend of Sleepy Hollow. They like bridges a lot here. See? Bridge.
Got a bridge to sell you.
Okay, I know it's hard to see, but there's a spooky gentleman walking across the park right now. Just make out the shadow of a man crossing the bridge. Is it a ghost or not?